Chike Okonyia single-handedly mobilized old boys.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the MGS Old Boys Association, we welcome you to this special feature celebrating excellence, vision, and leadership. Today, we have the honor of sitting with the distinguished winner of 2024 Chike Okonyia Award, an award given to an old boy whose character, academic standing, and contributions to DMGS and to the society at large reflect the high ideals of late Chike Okonyia, a beacon of integrity, scholarship, and service. Please join us in welcoming our award recipient, Professor Sir Ilochi Okafor, SAN, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Prof, let us begin with learning a bit more about you. Can you tell us your name, your class in DMGS, and your house?
Thank you. My name is Augustine Ilochi Okafor. Ilochi stands for Ilo Aburochu. And my class in DMGS, I think I came into DMGS 1958 and passed out 1962. I was in Howard's house. I'm a native of Ukalo village in Obunike, local government area of the state.
Thank you. The first time I am hearing about this Ilo Aborochukwu. Thank you very much, Prof. Please, can you tell us your favorite subject while you were in school and why?
Well, I suppose my favorite subject probably was history. But very interestingly, I was actually the best student in history from year 1 until school certificate. When my very good friend, Imam Madam, who is now a professor, emerged the best student in history. I made an A1 and I made an A2. But for the benefit of younger students, I want to share with them a very particular stage of my career in DMS. In my years 1 to 2, I did very well in art subjects and to some extent in chemistry. But was flunking badly in mathematics and physics. In 1960, there was a change of principle, and the great S.O. came. And in his first assembly, he said, mathematics is now compulsory in DMGS. You cannot go to DMGS and not take mathematics in school subject. So you can imagine the bombshell to myself and also my classmate, late Dr. Daniel Onya. Both of us had passed through the same primary school in England, and we are doing very badly in mathematics and physics. When we came back from the assembly, you know what mattered in DMGS most? Your academic standing. Our classmates laughed us to scorn. in that whether, notwithstanding our excellence in our subjects, we will still be able to take school certificate. And the midterm was about 1 week away. So Dan and I, we sat back and said, we'll not go on midterm. So we stayed back. And what did we do? From page 1 of dual in algebra, geometry, and arithmetic, we virtually solved every question, and we did not only get to where the class was, we went past it. And this was unknown to our classmates. When the midterm exam came out, it was a shock to see Dan and I score above 80% in these 2 subjects. And they thought it was a fluke. But we continued, and in the end, in our school certificate, we made all A's in geometry, in mathematics, and in physics. So that is the determination, that is the resilience characteristic of a government. I wouldn't have known that I was capable of doing very well in mathematics. But that's it.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you. Well, this is huge. But I would like to know, and the audience also, first, what motivated you to trying to strive to this excellence? Like, were there reasons for, you staying back at school? At again, how were you able to do it? Or was it that the then principal or the staff of the school were not against you staying back?
No, those days, very big, you had a choice. You either stayed back or you went home. So we decided not to go back to our homes. We decided to stay back in school. And that gave us the opportunity from morning to night to study nothing but mathematics and physics.
And your parents were not bothered?
Of course not. Of course not. Look, they knew we were in school. They knew we were in school, and there was midterm. As I said, you have a choice either to go back or to stay back in school. And that was really the essence of the midterm holiday. It's an opportunity for you to try to catch up with your studies.
Thank you, Prof. Congratulations once again as the winner of Chike Okonyia Award. How did you feel when you were first announced? When the committee told you that you were the person that that won the 2024 Chike Okonyia Award?
Look, are you kidding me? This is the most prestigious award that an old boy can get from GMGs. And to be recognized by your peers. You know that it is not a fluke. Your peers don't recognize you if you don't really merit. If you don't have that merit. So I was greatly delighted and honored to be so recognized by my peers. And incidentally, in my class of 1962, I'm the first person to be getting that award.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay, this award, to you, what does it mean? what does it mean to you?
I think the best way to explain this is to go back a little bit to about 20 years ago, when I was completing my tenure as the Vice-Chancellor of Nigerian University. And that was about 2008. Some journalists met me, and the question was, what next after your tenure as Vice-Chancellor? And I said to them, I have only one ambition, I have only one vision, and that is to go back to DMGS and to give back to DMGS what DMGS has given to me. If it's possible, I want to be the principal of DMGS and to restore the glory of DMGS as the only grammar school in Igbo land.
Okay. If you were appointed the principal of DMGS, like you mentioned, would you have taken it?
I would have groveled to accept it. Look, as I've emphasized many times, even to the bishop, this is the only public post that I ever asked for. And I have most cherished. Look, I've been an Attorney General of Old Anambra State. I've been the Attorney General of New Anambra State. I'm a professor of law, emeritus professor of law. I've been the Dean in Faculty of Law. I've been a Vice-Chancellor. I've been a Senior Advocate of Nigeria. I've held some other public positions, but the public post I've cherished most is this post of coming back to DMGS in the capacity of the Chairman of the School Management Board, to ensure that the glory, the excellence of you and the character of DMGS will never be lost.
Prof, you talked about being the Attorney General of Old Anambra and the New Anambra. Talked about being the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Professor of Law, Dean of Law, Vice-Chancellor of the great Nnamdi Azikiwe University, and other prominent positions that you've taken. How do you feel when you were appointed the Chairman of the School Management Board?
So that was the only job I wanted. And I think I've held that job for about 13 to 14 years. And I'm still begging to be retained in that job.
Please, who appointed you?
It's our Lord Bishop and the proprietor of the school.
Okay. And since you became the chairman of the school management board, what difficulties, or how would I put it? What is the problems you are facing while being the chairman of the school management board?
To have much respect. Maybe the problems we face, the usual problems usual to DMGS. To save lives. We have attained a great level of excellence in all spheres of human endeavor. And the problem is how to stay and maintain that excellence. And I believe that we are now back to where we have always been. We have greatly stabilized the institution. Academically, we are excelling, winning prizes, not only locally, but nationally, and to some extent internationally, doing very well in WAEC. And the most important thing is that in achieving this excellence, the most important thing is that we do so with absolute integrity. Come to where we are taking the school certificate. And you see that DMGS still does not entertain any level of dishonesty. Yes, we want our students to do very well, but they must do very well because they merit it. We don't cheat. We will never cheat. I think Grandma cannot cheat. She will not cheat. So we are very proud that, especially in the Anglican Communion, our school sets the pace. Other schools, other Anglican schools, learn and copy from us. And just go to the school today and see the level of infrastructural development. Amazingly, substantially coming from old boys. So part of what we have done is that old boys again have come back, have come again to cherish, to be very proud of their school.
Coming to the infrastructures in DMGS, as the chairman of the school management board, how were you able to convince the old boys?
No, an old boy does not need convincing.
Yeah.
To come back to the school and help.
Yeah.
And not so when it is so barefaced that the school is now doing very, very well. And I believe that every old boy has this obligation to ensure that we maintain this level of excellence.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof. Prof. Chike Okonyia is the highest award given to an old boy of DMGS. And to the glory of God, you are the award winner of the 2024 Chike Okonyia Award. Can you please tell us about Chike Okonyia? Is he an old boy?
What did you do? That's a very pertinent question. Chike Okonyia was an old boy. Naturally, the question should come, why would the old boys institutionalize his most prestigious annual award dedicated to him?
Okay.
Chike Okonyia was not very well known like Professor Kenneth Dike, Professor Ezelo, and many other old boys. So why did the boys select him in preference to these very distinguished old boys? Chike Okonyia was a young man when the war ended. And in the spirit of the gloom, the despair, the frustration and the misery following our defeat in the battlefront, Chike Okonyia had a vision. He had a passion. Our school had been a center of the series of battles in our nation. And virtually lay in ruins. Our cherished red brick story building was gone. And Chike Okonyia single-handedly mobilized old boys. And in a twinkling of a year, the old boys rebuilt that red brick school. And in rebuilding it, ensure that they replicated the first red brick building that was in school. And he also went beyond that. He galvanized the old boys and helped establish what we now know as Doba. He had played his part. I won't say unfortunately, but as mortal, I will say unfortunately he died young. And the old boys were so impressed by this legacy that it was unanimously decided that the most prestigious, the only old boy award will be institutionalized in his name. And it has stood still since then.
Well, this is good. In fact, many old boys keep asking, who is this Chike Okonyia?
Chike was just a civil servant. And I think he was a senior civil servant. He wasn't, I don't think he was a deputy permanent secretary.
Wow.
There are no reason to that. He was a young man. He was a young man and he was relatively young. And there were old boys at that time, more famous, older than him. But with the drive, with the courage, with the vision, he just put the old boys back and he restored DMJs. And at that time, if he hadn't done that, there was speculation that the state government was going to take over DMJs. And the old boys will not have it. And that was the reason initially DMJs was not part of the schools that were taken over.
Wow. Wow. You just mentioned that the building, that's our main block, the DMGS main block, used to be like that before the war.
Yes.
And it was destroyed during the war. Then Chike Okonyia organized old boys to build the same kind of structure that was there before the war. Wow, this is good. Please, can you tell us when DMGS Old Boys Association was established?
Yes, sir. DMGS Old Boys Association existed before the war, you know. And I remember those days how we admired people like late Dr. Walter, as so on and so forth. And during prize giving days, you know, it was always exciting to see them, you know, take part, attend the prize giving days, and award prizes to students. So the old boys was there before the war.
Wow. 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 Well, Prof, we keep thanking you. Can you, at this point, share the experience where you had to show leadership or courage while you were in school as a young graduate?
Thank you. If you talk to my classmates, they will readily inform you that I was one of the most rebellious students in the class. But I retained the respect of my classmates because, as I said, in the end, just what mattered was your academic standing. I retained the respect because I was invariably within the top 5 in the entire class. I will tell you about a very unique experience. When we finished school certificate, I had the 3rd best result in the class. On the whole, I did better in science subjects than in art subjects. But from childhood, I was determined to be a lawyer. And I opted for higher school. And that higher school to do just in the arts discipline rather than science discipline. It was not, it was rare in those days to see academically excellent students doing arts. My father was not really amused that instead of towing the line of doing medicine, I was going to do arts and read law. But the principal, late Mr. Ogazi, the legendary Ogazi, he was very delighted. So I went in for higher school. And by June, I was convinced I didn't need to stay the entire hall. That I could take my GC advanced that year and pass it. So I went to the principal and I told him I wanted to leave, that I could read on my own and take the GC advance, and that will mean taking the GC advance a year before my classmates. He looked at me. What's wrong with this stocky boy? I said, okay, go to your father. If he gives you permission to leave, I will allow you. My father was not pleased, but he did. I came back to school. And you can imagine I was about maybe 16 or 17. I had obtained the curriculum for the GC advanced level courses. And I went into the library. And on my own made notes. Take a subject like history. My special area was Louis XIV. And at that age, I took up the Encyclopedia Britannica and the Encyclopedia American Encyclopedia. I'm virtually copying down everything they wrote about Louis XIV. After the end of second term, I left and returned to Enugu. Every day, Monday to Friday, by 10 o'clock, I was in the public library. I read till 2 o'clock, went back home, had lunch, and rested. I will come back again at 4 p.m. and I will stay till 7 p.m. when the library will close. On Saturdays, I went 10 o'clock, stayed there till 1 o'clock, and then returned either to go to the sports stadium and so on and so forth. And in December, I took the GC advanced. And I made 2 distinctions out of the 3 subjects I took. I made a distinction in British Constitution and I made a distinction in history. The news electrified the students' community. I remember the day I came to the school and the students nearly mobbed me. Why I say this, not really to glorify me myself, but to show the character that we imbibed in DMGS. Can you imagine a little boy of 17 on his own preparing himself to take GCE advanced, and did it in a space of 3 or 4 months and ended with 2 distinctions out of the 3 subjects. It was with that performance that I entered the University of Nigeria to read law. So I regard this as the most courageous thing I did when I was in school.
Thank you, Prof. I want to be certain about something. You said while in school you were rebellious.
Very rebellious.
So what do you mean by being rebellious?
Look, as I said, look, let me put it this way. By nature, you have to convince me by the rationality or the rightness of something before doing it. The school, the school is obey before command.
Yes.
And I just didn't think I should obey every command. You have to let me see why I have to obey the command. And even though I was a very popular junior student, my older brother was a year above me. He ended up deputy senior prefect, school captain, legal house prefect. So his classmates knew me a lot. And they even indulged in my nickname. My nickname was Ake. They still call me Ake today. My classmates still call me Ake today. So, interestingly, the old boys, these senior students, who want to play with me. I know you don't play with seniors. They will call me Ake. And if I ever tried to take advantage of that familiarity and maybe called him by his own nickname, he will punish me. And I won't do the punishment because as far as I was concerned, you first nickname, you called me my nickname and I called you yours. Why should I do the punishment? And you'll be punished for not obeying the command. And after doing that punishment for not obeying your command, you still do that punishment that was first given to you. So I was always doing punishment, but interestingly, it did not affect my academic standing. I was still coming out there within the top 3 or 5 of the class.
Wow.
So that's the irony. Look at this chap who was the most rebellious in his class is today the chairman of the school management board and is striving to implant discipline, excellence and character in the school.
It's good. Wow.
I mean, that can only happen in D&Ds.
Wow. Well, truly speaking, I'm impressed, really. Prof, do you still have classmates?
Yes.
Are they still alive?
We have a platform.
Okay.
We have a platform. And if you go to the platform, I'm not even Ilochi Okafor. I'm Ake.
Okay. That's good, Prof. You talked about your older brother.
Yes.
He was class of
1961.
Which house?
Lugard House. He was the house prefect of Lugard House. He was the school sports captain. He was the deputy senior prefect. And interestingly too, in his class, he graduated third in the class.
Wow.
Just like I did a year later.
Wow.
He was an extremely handsome young man.
Wow.
Unfortunately, he died fighting in the Civil War.
May his soul continue to rest in peace. Please, what was his name?
McDonald Ifeanyi Chike Okonyia.
Okay. When you were explaining what and the things you did in school and all that, you mentioned about the students nearly mobbed you when you came back. Please, can you explain further about that?
You see, I think very simple. This was a child that virtually did a miracle. His classmates were still in higher school, and this little boy had gone out and gotten his GCE advanced papers, probably better than anybody had done in the school. So it was something the students found worthy of emulation. They were very proud of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Prof, who was your father?
Bless his soul. My father was, I still remember him with very fond memories. And I wonder how he was able to manage and to bring us up. My mom was a second wife and had 4 boys before she got 4 girls. And my father was lucky that the 4 boys were all academically good. The first 3 of us attended GMGS.
Wow.
And ended up graduating with grade 1. So my father was working the P&T as a senior clerk, and what he went through to bring us up, it was in my later years that I really admired and understood what he did. He was an amputee, and he worked with official legs. But amazingly, this man every morning would trek about 4 or 5 miles to his place of work and to come back. He didn't charter taxis to go there because he had to save every penny, because 3 or 4 of us were in the school at the same time. And I don't ever remember not seeing my father with a saw in his leg. Because in those days, the official legs were not as refined as what we have today. Yeah. They were virtually made of iron.
Yes.
And you can imagine someone walking every day 4 or 5 miles and coming back 4 or 5 miles on these iron artificial legs. But he was glad. I think he was happy to go through with a lot of courage. And in 1966, when he died, I was in UNN. That was my second year in the law school. As a law student. And when I came back, I looked at him. It was obvious he was going down. With my little knowledge of law, I said, Daddy, what next? He said, look, I don't want to fight this illness. I've just been paid my pension and gratuity. And I have 4 brilliant boys to send to the university. I don't want to spend this money on medication. I've eaten anything I would have loved to eat. There is nothing more left for me except to ensure that my 4 boys went to the university. And I went back to school. A week later, I just got the information that he had died. So he really suffered to ensure that he had a future, he left a future for his children. And I'm very grateful very, very grateful. I'm very proud, I'm very honored to have had a man like that as my father.
Thank you, Prof. It's good. In other words, he did all he could to make sure that his children...
He did more than he could. Yes.
To the glory of God. To the glory of God.
Thank you.
Okay. Prof, aside from academics, you were able to... Okay, let's talk about your professorship, your practice while you were a lawyer, how did you become a senior advocate of Nigeria? How did you become a professor of law, the dean of law faculty, and eventually the Vice-Chancellor of Nnamdi Azikiwe University?
As a true Dendramite, I have merit. That's all I can say.
Well, aside academics, are you involved in...
I hate politics.
Politics?
Don't talk to me about politics. I hate politics.
You are not involved in any Nigerian politics at all?
Not at all.
Okay, even in the village politics, like the...
No, anything you call politics. I'm involved, intensely involved in village activities. But the passion is to help the underprivileged, the poor, people who are less placed than me. I have no political ambition. Okay.
What if your children decide to go into politics? What would you tell them? Especially in Nigeria of today.
I just hope they won't, because the way I brought them up, they can't fit into politics in Nigeria.
Especially in Nigeria.
I say the politics in Nigeria, they can't fit in.
Okay. In community service, you talked about doing your community service. How do you actually do that?
Look, I'm a strong Anglican. My wife and I have played very significant role in building our local church and in propagating the Anglican faith. And I'm a village leader. I lead in village activities and in the town activities. Incidentally today, we are about to complete a 3-bedroom bungalow for a widow. And hopefully we will hand over the building to her next week.
Wow, this is good. Just your family, right?
No, this woman, this widow was living in abject misery. I didn't know until I saw a video that her house had virtually half of it had virtually disintegrated. There was no door, there was no window. She didn't have prized belongings there. She was not sleeping there. She would only come in by day, cook food, and by night take her 2 very young grandchildren, finding a place to live in. And it was, I felt ashamed that I was living, I had this place to live in, and in my own village, and I didn't know that somebody like that was passing through so much misery. So one night, it rained catastrophically. I woke up at 5 and I turned to my wife and I said, "What were you thinking?" She said, "It's about that widow. What is she doing now with this kind of rain?" I immediately woke up, immediately got out of the bedroom, came to this place, and by 5:30 I sent text to 4 of my friends, and I said, "I have this widow. We must build a house for her." And within an hour, 4 of them responded with 7 million naira.
Wow. That's the capacity.
And today we've completed the 3-bedroom bungalow. It's now being painted.
Wow.
You know, that's the kind of thing that gives, as a Dendramite, that gives me so much joy.
This is good. May God bless you.
And while we are building the house, she is living with us here. So, you know, because she has no place else to go. So that's the Dendramite spirit.
The Dendramite spirit. That's it. Prof, may God bless you and your family.
Amen.
Prof, you are retired.
Very much. We're not,
How are
we're
you
not tired when it comes to DMJS matter. So
yeah. Apart from the BMGS activities, how are you enjoying your retirement?
I'm still practicing. I'm still doing my private legal practice. But my children ensure that I don't go to court more than 3 times a week.
Okay.
And I really need to continue to be involved, because what will I do? If what option? You wake up in the morning and there's no place to go, you will die of boredom. So I still find it very exciting, very challenging. It gives a lot of sprite in my life that I'm still doing private practice.
Where is your chamber?
I have 2 chambers, one at Oka and one at Telugu. And by the glory of God, I've been blessed with my only son, who decided to join me in legal practice. Last year, he was elevated to the rank of a senior advocate of Nigeria.
Wow. Congratulations to you. If you're asked to go back to DMGS again today as a young student, what would you do differently than what you have done? What you did when you were in school?
First of all, let me talk about what DMGS should mean to these students. My advice to our students is every student in DMGS should be himself. You must pass through DMGS and ensure that DMGS passes through you. Imbibe the virtues of self-discipline, excellence, character, and of course, be a true Christian. It pays always to remember that famous saying of our Lord and Savior: let your light so shine before men, that you do what? That they see you and they glorify your Father who is in heaven. Every Dendramite is a Dendramite because in every place he enters, people are going to, he will make a difference, and people must be compelled to ask, where is this guy from? So as students must imbibe the virtues of self-discipline, excellence, character, excellence especially in academic studies, excellence in character, and of course understand that there is no alternative to meritocracy. There is absolutely no option. You must strive on merit to excel. And if I were to go back to DMGS, I will still be the same Ake. Interacting with my classmates, striving to be the best student in the class academically. Because your classmates, they only respected you if you did in class. As simple as that. Look, you could be the best sportsman, but if academically you are not doing better than him, he has no respect. The respect isn't there.
Okay. In what ways do you plan to continue honoring the ideals of Chike Okonyia as you move forward?
I will continue to be a true Dendramite. I think he says it all.
You know what I like about what you say? You always emphasize on being a good Dendramite.
Look, you see, the fact is that what DMGS, I don't believe there is any Dendramite who can return to DMGS what DMGS gave to him. I am what I am today because I passed through DMGS. No doubt about that. It's such a unique experience. Others certainly don't understand why we are so cherished, why we are so proud of our school. And you go back to those days, we start on wooden beds. Our food was not fantastic. Yet, when I was in school, two sons of the great Dr. Nanda's glory were with us, and they never missed a meal one day. When the bell rang, with you, they are all rushing to the dining hall. Sons of Zik, and they sat down with you and they ate the same food like you did. There was no distinction. We didn't even look at them as if they were the sons of Zik. We just saw them as our classmates. So it's a unique experience. It's a unique institution, and it goes back to the legendary Architect Chike Dennis. This school, Dennis, was not accidental. Chike Dennis was an archdeacon in the Anglican Communion, and he stood apart from the other foreign missionaries. He believed in the local community, and with that, he went deeply in association with the people, and that was why he became an expert in Igbo language and was the first to translate the entire English Bible into Igbo. And with his wife, he was going back during the First World War with the manuscripts to have the manuscripts printed when that boat was torpedoed, and he had a choice to save the manuscript or to die, and he chose to die.
Oh, this is good. Prof, can you tell us one experience that, you know, like I say, you keep emphasizing being a good decrement and all that, and you said that without DMGS you are nothing. Can you tell us one experience that maybe during the time of all your life experience, and that something maybe spectacular made you say all these things? Maybe an old boy must have helped you one way or the other. Maybe during the times you're having some...
Look, I remember when I got my GC advanced and was waiting to enter the university. In those days, you try to get a job, work for 6 or 7 months to collect some needed pocket money. And my older brother, who had also attended the Angels, was working too. And he said to me, the Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health went to DNGS. Just go to him, tell him you're a Dengramite, you get a job immediately. That's all. So I went to the Ministry of Health. His name was Mr. Debu. I went to the Ministry of Health. But they showed me his office. I went there, I saw his secretary. And the secretary said, do you have an appointment? I said, no, I don't have an appointment, but I went to DNGS. She laughed and went inside and said, he wants to see you. So I got in. He looked at me and said, so you went to DNGS? I said, yes. Which house? I told him, Royal's house. What do you want? You want a job for 6 months before you go to the university? I said, yes. He pressed the bell. The secretary came back. They said, take him downstairs to the personnel division and let him sign his papers. That was how I started working.
Hey, Prof, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for sharing your journey with us. Your story is not only inspiring, but a true reminder of the excellence and character that this crew, DMGS, and this award stands for. Can you tell us how you are preparing to receive your award on the 26th of July 2025.
How I'm preparing
Yes, sir.
to receive the award?
Yes. How prepared are you?
As I said, that's the award I have cherished most in my life. And we will be there. Look, I remember when I was first appointed the Vice-Chancellor of Nigerian University in 2003. And the question was, what are your plans? What is your vision for this school? And I said to them, I want to be along the line of great legacies. In accepting and assuming this position, I'm not ever going to forget that I'm going to pass through the legacy of Professor Kenneth Onwuka Dike, Professor Ezilo, Professor Onagluchi. These are Dendramites. And my performance as Vice-Chancellor of Nigerian University must be a lasting remembrance of the contributions of these great men to academics. And I always have that in mind. Whatever decision I took, I always said to myself, how will this decision stand in the light of the legacy that brought you to this job? So, a Dendramite has no choice. He must live his life to the end as a true Dendramite. And he must continue to show the light. He cannot be like other people. I once went to the gathering of the old boys of a sister school, and they were so full of praise that they are primus inter pares, best amongst equals. And I said to them, it was my turn to speak. I said to them, as a Dendramite, I consider that you are first amongst equals. But what about the school that has no equal? In 1970, I was fortunate to have gotten my scholarship to University of Pennsylvania to do postgraduate studies grenade. So now when I got to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I was about 28 that time. And that was where I met a pretty young girl, and who was the talk of the locality. And it happened that she was living with another brother who went to DMGS on Isha too. We went to grammar school. And as soon as I got to know that she had that background, I said, that's the future wife for me. So, in hot pursuit, I went after her. And luckily, I was supported by the brother because I went to DMGS too. And they invited her, look, this is the chap you go, you follow. You never regret saying yes to him because he went to DMGS. So you can see that through DMGS I also got my most prized possession, my wife. And we've been married since 1973. 2 years ago we celebrated our Golden Jubilee. So you can see DMGS can take you through past many corners. Unfortunately, none of my children went to DMGS. And My youngest son said he would have loved to go to DNGS, but at the time he was to go to secondary school, DNGS was suffering the decay following the takeover of schools. But that if DNGS that time was what DNGS is today, certainly he would have gone to DNGS. He passed the entrance to DNGS anyway. So I have 4 grandchildren. I have 4 children, and I have 10 grandchildren. Let me end this. Let's end with that. Our school has no equal.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you so much. And we have come to the end of this interview. On behalf of DMGS Old Boys Association, the President General, Dr. Sonny Chubanwachuku, the executive members, and all members of Dennis Noah Grammar School Old Boys, we say thank you to Professor Ilochi Okafor, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. We congratulate you once more, and we wish you continued success in all your endeavors.
Thank you. Thank you.
God bless you,
you too. Thank you.